In the vast, unforgiving expanse of the wild, every living organism functions as a complex biological system designed for a single primary directive: the continuation of its genetic code. This 60-minute examination will deconstruct the most advanced survival mechanisms ever engineered by the process of evolution over millions of years of iterative testing. We begin our journey by analyzing the apex predators, the high-performance machines that sit at the top of the food chain's hierarchy. These animals do not simply hunt. They execute precise biological protocols that involve advanced sensory input and near-instantaneous physical response times. To understand the wild, we must first understand the physics of the hunt and the extreme pressures that force these species to adapt or disappear. Every movement in the wilderness is a calculated expenditure of energy that must be justified by a significant nutritional return. If the energy cost of a pursuit exceeds the caloric value of the prey, the predator has failed its most basic survival equation. This delicate balance of energy management is the foundational law that governs every interaction we are about to witness across the globe. By observing these systems, we gain a rare insight into the fundamental logic that underpins all life on our planet today. Consider the specialized ocular architecture of the great gray owl, a bird whose vision system is so large it occupies a significant portion of its entire cranial volume. Unlike human eyes, which are spherical, the owl's eyes are tube-shaped and held in place by bony structures called sclerotic rings, making them immovable within their socket. To compensate for this mechanical limitation, the owl has evolved the ability to rotate its neck up to 270 degrees without disrupting the blood flow to its brain. This structural adaptation allows the bird to maintain a fixed gaze on its target, while achieving a panoramic field of vision that would be impossible for other vertebrates. Furthermore, the feathers of the owl are engineered with serrated edges that break up the turbulence of the air, granting them the gift of near-silent flight. This acoustic stealth is a critical component of their hunting protocol, allowing them to approach sensitive prey without triggering an auditory flight response. The combination of telescopic vision and silent movement creates a biological stealth fighter that is unmatched in the nocturnal theater of the wild. It is a perfect example of how a specific environmental challenge is solved through highly specialized morphological engineering. Each of these features represents a specialized module in the animal's overall survival system, optimized for maximum efficiency in its specific ecological niche. Moving from the air to the terrestrial planes, we find the cheetah, a creature whose entire musculoskeletal system is a testament to the pursuit of pure, unadulterated velocity. The cheetah's spine functions like a powerful spring, flexing and extending to increase its stride length to nearly 7 meters during a high-speed pursuit. Its claws are non-retractable, acting as biological cleats that provide the necessary traction for high-speed cornering on shifting terrain. Even its tail serves a mechanical purpose, acting as a rudder that helps the animal maintain its center of gravity during sharp, high G turns. This is not just an animal running, it is a specialized biological engine operating at its absolute mechanical limit. However, this extreme specialization comes with a significant trade-off in terms of stamina and recovery time. After a sprint lasting less than 60 seconds, the cheetah's body temperature can rise to dangerous levels, requiring a lengthy cooling-off period where it is vulnerable to this trade-off between peak performance and long-term sustainability is a recurring theme in the engineering of wild survival systems. To truly learn from these creatures, we must analyze not only their strengths, but also the critical vulnerabilities that their specializations create. Transitioning from land to the river systems, we encounter the American alligator, a predator that has remained virtually unchanged for over 80 million years due to its near-perfect structural design. The alligator's eyes and nostrils are positioned on the extreme superior surface of its head, allowing it to remain almost entirely submerged while maintaining full sensory awareness. This positioning is a masterclass in stealth engineering, providing a low-profile silhouette that is nearly invisible to thirsty terrestrial animals. Beneath the surface, the alligator's heart features a unique valve called the foramen of Panit, which allows it to shunt blood away from its lungs and toward its vital organs during long dives. This internal plumbing system enables the reptile to stay submerged for hours, waiting for the precise moment to launch a surprise kinetic strike. When the strike occurs, the alligator utilizes a death roll mechanic, using its massive tail to generate torque that even the strongest bones cannot withstand. This combination of patience, specialized anatomy, and overwhelming force makes the alligator a dominant variable in the freshwater ecosystem. It proves that in the wild, the most successful systems are often the ones that require the least amount of energy to maintain until the moment of action. Every aspect of the alligator's existence is optimized for high-impact results with minimal metabolic waste. In the open oceans, the great white shark operates as a mobile sensory laboratory, detecting electrical signals that are invisible to almost every other creature on Earth. Scattered across its snout are the ampulla of Lorenzine, jelly-filled pores that pick up the minute electrical pulses generated by the muscle contractions of living prey. This electroreception system is so sensitive that the shark can navigate by the Earth's magnetic field and find buried prey in total darkness. Beyond electricity, the shark's lateral line system detects pressure changes in the water, allowing it to feel movements from hundreds of meters away. Its skin is covered in dermal denticles, tiny tooth-like scales that reduce drag and allow it to glide through the water with incredible hydrodynamic efficiency. This reduction in fluid resistance means the shark can maintain high cruising speeds while expending very little energy. When it detects a target, its primary attack protocol involves a vertical breach, utilizing the dark depths as camouflage before striking from below at high velocity. This is a multi-layered detection and engagement system that has been refined by evolution to solve the problem of finding food in a vast, three-dimensional void. It illustrates that, in the wild, information is just as valuable as physical strength. The final apex system we must examine in this opening segment is the gray wolf, a predator that succeeds through the power of distributed intelligence and social networking. While a single wolf is a formidable hunter, the true strength of the species lies in the pack protocol, where multiple units coordinate their actions to bring down prey much larger than themselves. Wolves communicate through a complex array of vocalizations, body postures, and pheromones to maintain group cohesion during high-stakes maneuvers. During a hunt, individual wolves take on specific roles, such as flushers, who drive the prey toward ambushers. Waiting in the brush, this division of labor allows the pack to tackle dangerous targets like elk or bison, while minimizing the risk of injury to any single member. Their endurance is a specialized biological trait, allowing them to track prey for dozens of miles at a steady trot that wears down the target's stamina. This persistent hunting strategy is a war of attrition, where the wolf's superior cardiovascular system eventually outmatches the prey's defensive speed. Social intelligence is the software that runs the physical hardware of the wolf, making it one of the most successful wild systems in the Northern Hemisphere. It demonstrates that collaboration is a highly effective survival technology. As the sun reaches its zenith, the wild reveals its most impressive structural engineers, species that have mastered the art of environmental manipulation. The beaver is perhaps the most famous of these architects, capable of transforming entire landscapes to suit its specific safety and storage requirements. By felling trees with its iron-reinforced teeth, the beaver constructs complex dam systems that create deep water ponds. These ponds serve as a biological moat, protecting the beaver's lodge from terrestrial predators like wolves and bears. The dam itself is an engineering marvel, built with a combination of wood, stones, and mud that can withstand the incredible pressure of flowing river water. Inside the lodge, the beaver creates a insulated living chamber with underwater entrances to ensure maximum security for its offspring. This ability to alter the hydrology of an ecosystem is a powerful survival strategy that benefits not only the beaver but many other aquatic species. It is a prime example of niche construction where an organism builds its own habitat rather than simply adapting to what is already there. The beaver's work is a testament to the power of physical labor when directed by a clear architectural plan in the arid savannas of Africa. Termites build towering mounds that function as high-tech, air-conditioned skyscrapers for their massive colonies. These mounds are not just piles of dirt. They are carefully engineered ventilation systems that maintain a constant internal temperature regardless of the scorching heat outside. A series of internal flues and chimneys allow hot air to rise and escape, while cooler air is drawn in from the base of the structure. This thermal regulation is critical because the termites actually form a specific type of fungus inside the mound as their primary food source. The fungus requires a very narrow temperature range to survive, making the mound's HVAC system a matter of life and death for the entire colony. Thousands of individual workers operate as a decentralized workforce, building and repairing the structure based on local chemical signals rather than a central blueprint. This swarm intelligence allows the colony to solve complex engineering problems that would be impossible for any single insect to comprehend. The termite mound is a masterpiece of passive cooling technology that human architects are only now beginning to study for sustainable building designs. It proves that even the smallest creatures can build the most complex systems when they work in perfect synchronicity. The honeybee hive is a masterpiece of geometric efficiency that has captivated mathematicians and engineers for centuries due to its use of the regular hexagon. By utilizing this specific six-sided shape, bees are able to tile a flat plane perfectly without leaving any gaps or wasted space between the individual cells. This configuration requires the absolute minimum amount of costly beeswax to create the maximum amount of storage volume for honey and developing larvae. A single pound of beeswax requires the colony to consume roughly 8 pounds of honey, making structural efficiency a critical economic necessity for the hive's survival. The bees maintain the structural integrity of the hive by keeping the internal temperature at a precise 35 degrees Celsius, which allows the wax to remain pliable yet strong. If the hive becomes too warm, worker bees will line up at the entrance and use their wings as fans to circulate cooler air throughout the corridors. This active climate control system is essential for protecting the delicate eggs and ensuring the honey does not melt or ferment. Each cell is tilted at a slight upward angle of 13 degrees to prevent the viscous honey from leaking out before it is capped with a fresh layer of wax. The hive is not just a home. It is a highly optimized storage facility and a temperature-controlled incubator designed by a collective intelligence. It proves that in the wild, the laws of mathematics are the ultimate guide for sustainable construction. Beyond the hive, the world of arachnids offers a look at a material that outperforms almost every man-made substance in terms of its weight-to-strength ratio. Spider silk. A strand of spider silk is 5 times stronger than steel of the same diameter and twice as elastic as nylon, making it the ultimate biological fiber for high-impact capture. The spider's engineering lab consists of specialized abdominal glands that produce liquid proteins, which are then pulled through spinnerets to form solid threads. By varying the chemical composition of these proteins, a single spider can produce up to 7 different types of silk for specific structural roles. Dragline silk acts as the rigid frame and safety rope, while capture silk is coated in a biological glue to snag flying insects mid-air. The silk is also highly antimicrobial and biodegradable, ensuring that the spider can recycle the protein by eating its own web when it needs to rebuild. This ability to synthesize high-performance polymers at room temperature is a feat of chemistry that human scientists are still struggling to replicate in a laboratory setting. The web is a passive sensors ray, vibrating with specific frequencies that tell the spider the size, location, and struggle intensity of its prey. It is an extension of the spider's own nervous system, allowing it to monitor its environment without ever leaving the center of its lair. In the world of avian architecture, the Bea weaver bird takes the concept of curb appeal and structural security to a staggering level of complexity. The male weaver uses its beak as a precision tool to strip long fibers from grasses and palm fronds, which it then ties into intricate knots around a sturdy branch. Over the course of several days, the bird weaves a pendant-shaped nest that features a long, downward-facing entrance tube designed to thwart climbing predators like snakes. This specialized anti-predatory tunnel is so narrow and slippery that most invaders cannot gain enough purchase to reach the eggs hidden in the upper chamber. To ensure the nest survives the monsoon winds, the bird often incorporates mud or clay into the walls to act as a stabilizing ballast. The internal chambers are lined with soft feathers and fine grass, creating a thermally insulated nursery for the next generation. Interestingly, female weavers will inspect several properties before choosing a mate, effectively acting as the final quality control inspectors for the male's engineering work. If a nest is poorly constructed or lacks the proper structural integrity, it will be rejected, forcing the male to dismantle the project and start over. This rigorous selection process ensures that only the most skilled architects pass on their genes to the future population. It is a brilliant example of how sexual selection drives the evolution of advanced engineering skills in the wild. As we descend into the midnight zone of the ocean, we enter an environment where the pressure exceeds 1,000 times that of the surface. Yet life has found a way to thrive in the crushing dark. At these depths, the traditional biological structures found in surface animals would be instantly flattened, requiring a complete redesign of the skeletal and cellular systems. Deep-sea creatures, such as the blobfish or the snailfish, often lack a hard skeleton, instead utilizing gelatinous bodies that are roughly the same density as the surrounding water. This fluid-based structural design allows them to remain pressure neutral, meaning their internal pressure matches the external environment to prevent collapse. Because sunlight cannot reach this far down, the concept of vision is completely redefined, with many species evolving massive, light-sensitive eyes to catch the faint glimmer of bioluminescence. Others have abandoned sight entirely, relying on highly sensitive lateral lines to detect the displacement of water caused by nearby movement. Food is incredibly scarce here, leading to specialized metabolic adaptations where animals can survive for months on a single meal. The marine snow, a constant drizzle of organic detritus from the surface, is the primary energy source for this alien ecosystem. Survival in the abyss is not a matter of speed or strength, but a masterclass in extreme conservation and pressure-resistant engineering. Bioluminescence is the primary technology of the deep, a chemical reaction that allows organisms to create their own light in a world of perpetual shadow. This process involves a light-emitting molecule called luciferin and an enzyme called which react together to release energy in the form of visible photons. Unlike a light bulb, which wastes most of its energy as heat. Bioluminescence is cold light, meaning almost 100% of the energy is converted directly into illumination. Animals use this light for a variety of critical survival protocols, including luring prey, distracting predators, and signaling potential mates across the void. The anglerfish is perhaps the most famous user of this system, dangling a glowing lure filled with symbiotic bacteria directly in front of its massive, tooth-filled jaws. Other species, like the vampire squid, can eject a cloud of glowing mucus to blind an attacker while they make a silent getaway into the darkness. Some fish even use counter-illumination camouflage, where photophores on their underside match the faint light coming from above to hide their silhouette from predators lurking below. This chemical light is the most common form of communication on our planet, yet it remains one of the most mysterious and beautiful biological adaptations. It proves that where there is a lack of external resources, life will simply engineer its own. The giant isop is a living relic of Earth's ancient oceans, a scavenger that has perfected the art of extreme metabolic conservation in the deep sea. Growing up to 50 centimeters in length, these 14-legged crustaceans are distant relatives of the common garden woodlouse, yet they have adapted to survive under pressures that would crush a human submarine. Their most impressive biological system is their ultra-low metabolism, which allows them to survive for up to 5 years without a single meal in controlled environments. When a significant food source, like a whale carcass known as a whale fall, sinks to the seafloor, isopods emerge to gorge themselves until they can no longer physically move. They possess a thick, calcareous exoskeleton composed of overlapping segments that acts as a pressure-resistant suit of armor against the weight of the water. Their compound eyes are massive, containing over 4,000 individual facets designed to detect the faintest traces of light reflecting off the seafloor. Furthermore, they use 2 pairs of antennae as long-range sensory organs to feel their way through the pitch-black silt of the ocean floor. By acting as the ocean's cleanup crew, they play a vital role in recycling nutrients back into the deep-sea food chain. Their existence proves that in the most barren environments on Earth, patience and armor are the most effective survival technologies. At the very bottom of the ocean's trenches, life clusters around hydrothermal vents, which function like underwater hot springs powered by the Earth's internal volcanic activity. These vents expel superheated water filled with minerals like iron sulfides, creating black smokers that reach temperatures of over 400 degrees Celsius. In this environment, life does not depend on the sun for energy. Instead, it utilizes a chemical process called chemosynthesis to convert inorganic minerals into food. Specialized bacteria act as the primary producers in this system, forming the base of a food chain that includes giant tube worms and yeti crabs. Tube worms can grow to almost 2 meters in length and possess no mouth or digestive tract, instead housing billions of symbiotic bacteria that feed them directly. This chemical alliance is one of the most unique biological partnerships in the wild, allowing complex life to flourish in a toxic, lightless world. The vents also influence the evolution of unique protein structures that remain stable and functional even at scalding temperatures. Because these vents are temporary and can shut down at any time, the organisms that live there have evolved rapid growth rates and high-speed reproductive cycles. Hydrothermal vent communities are biological islands in the deep-sea desert, showing that life is not a prisoner of the sun's energy. The final deep-sea system we must analyze is the sperm whale, a mammal that has engineered a way to bridge the gap between the surface air and the abyss to reach their preferred prey of giant squid. These whales must perform dives that last over 60 minutes and reach depths of more than 2,000 meters. They utilize a specialized organ called the spermaceti organ in their massive heads, which contains a waxy oil that helps them focus their echolocation clicks. These clicks are the loudest biological sounds on Earth, powerful enough to stun prey or communicate with other whales over hundreds of miles of ocean. Before a dive, the whale hyperventilates to saturate its blood and muscles with oxygen, while simultaneously collapsing its lungs to prevent the bends from nitrogen absorption. Its heart rate drops significantly to conserve energy, focusing the oxygenated blood only on the brain and the vital organs. During the descent, the waxy oil in its head cools and solidifies, increasing the whale's density and allowing it to sink with minimal effort. This biomechanical buoyancy control is a masterpiece of energy-efficient engineering for a high-performance deep-sea hunter. The sperm whale is a biological submarine, proving that even air-breathing creatures can conquer the world's most extreme aquatic frontiers. While we often focus on the giants of the wild, the most sophisticated survival systems on our planet are frequently found at the microscopic and insectoid scales. Ants operate as a superorganism, where the collective intelligence of the colony far exceeds the cognitive abilities of any individual worker. Each ant follows a simple set of chemical algorithms based on pheromone trails, allowing the group to find the shortest path to food or organize a complex defense. Some species, like the leafcutter ant, have pioneered a form of agricultural engineering by farming a specific fungus on shredded leaves within their nests. This fungus farming system requires strict temperature and humidity controls, which the ants maintain through a series of carefully designed ventilation shafts. To protect their crops from pests, the ants carry specialized bacteria on their bodies that produce natural antibiotics, a form of pharmaceutical engineering that predates human medicine by millions of years. In times of war, soldier ants utilize massive mandibles and chemical sprays like formic acid to repel invaders and protect the queen. The division of labor within an ant colony is a perfect example of industrial-scale optimization, where every unit has a dedicated role in the system's overall success. These micro-warriors prove that complexity does not require size. It only requires a flawlessly executed set of rules. The honeybee navigation system is a marvel of biological trigonometry, allowing a single insect to communicate the exact coordinates of a food source to thousands of its hive mates. Through a specialized waggle dance, the scout bee uses the angle of its body relative to the sun to indicate the direction of the nectar. The duration of the central run of the dance communicates the precise distance to the target, scaled down to a micrometric level of accuracy. This information is processed by the other bees' nervous systems, which act as biological GPS receivers to calculate wind speed and atmospheric pressure changes during the flight. To maintain this level of precision, the bees possessed a magnetic map in their abdomen, consisting of tiny grains of magnetite that detect the Earth's magnetic field. This dual system navigation using both solar and magnetic data ensures the colony can find resources even on cloudy days when the sun is not visible. Once at the site, the bees use a floral electric signature to determine if a flower has recently been visited by another pollen. If the flower's electric field has been disturbed, the bee knows the nectar is depleted and moves on to a more efficient target. This complex data-sharing network is the foundation of the hive's economic success and energy efficiency. It proves that even at a microscopic scale, information technology is the most powerful tool for species survival. In the undergrowth of the rainforest, the bombardier beetle has engineered a form of chemical weaponry that functions like a biological rocket engine. To defend itself from predators, the beetle stores two separate chemical components, hydroquinone and hydrogen peroxidine, distinct internal reservoirs. When threatened, it mixes these chemicals in a reinforced reaction chamber at the tip of its abdomen, where specialized enzymes trigger an explosive chemical reaction The resulting liquid reaches temperatures of nearly 100 degrees Celsius and is ejected as a high-pressure scalding spray to prevent itself from being cooked by its own weapon. The beetle's reaction chamber is lined with heat-resistant chitin and features a pulse jet firing mechanism. This pulsing action allows the chamber to cool down slightly between bursts, preventing a catastrophic thermal failure of the beetle's internal organs. The beetle can even aim its spray with incredible precision by rotating the tip of its abdomen like a turret on a tank. This is a perfect example of pressure relief, engineering, and chemical safety protocols found within a living organism. It demonstrates that nature had mastered high-temperature chemical propulsion long before humans designed the first combustion engine. The butterfly migration system, specifically that of the monarch, represents one of the most incredible feats of long-distance biological endurance on the planet. Every year, millions of these delicate insects travel up to 4,000 kilometers from North America to a specific forest in central Mexico. This journey is not performed by a single individual, but by a multi-generational relay where the final generation knows exactly where to go despite never having been there before. They utilize a time-compensated sun compass located in their antennae, which allows them to adjust their flight path as the sun moves across the sky throughout the day. This biological clock is synchronized with their circadian rhythms, ensuring they stay on a steady southern heading regardless of the time. To save energy, they utilize thermal updrafts and wind highway systems, gliding for long distances to minimize the metabolic cost of flapping their wings. Their wings are coated in microscopic scales that provide aerodynamic lift and water resistance, protecting them from the elements during their several-month journey. Upon arrival, they cluster together by the thousands on oil mill fir trees, creating a collective thermal blanket to survive the high-altitude winter. This inherited navigational data is a form of biological firmware that is passed down through the genetic code. It shows that survival often requires a grand, multi-generational strategy that transcends the life of any single unit. Transitioning to the world's most extreme terrestrial travelers, we find the wildebeest of the Serengeti, whose lives are governed by a constant, circular pursuit of rainfall and fresh grass. This great migration involves over 1 million individuals moving in a synchronized wave across thousands of square kilometers of hostile terrain. The wildebeest's respiratory system is optimized for low-intensity, long-distance movement, allowing them to travel for days without rest while maintaining a steady pace. They are water-dependent nomads, meaning their navigational logic is hardwired to detect the scent of rain from over 50 kilometers away. This keen olfactory sense guides the entire herd toward the next green-up of the plains, ensuring they always have access to high-protein forage. During the journey, they must navigate treacherous river crossings where they face intense pressure from aquatic predators like the Nile crocodile. To minimize risk, the herd utilizes a safety in numbers protocol, overwhelming the predators with a massive simultaneous crossing that ensures the majority of the population survives. Their calves are born within a narrow 3-week window, creating a predator satiation effect where there are simply too many offspring for hunters to consume. This is a demographic survival strategy that relies on timing and massive population density to overcome environmental threats. The Great Migration is a masterclass in large-scale logistics and group-based endurance. In the high-altitude deserts of the Himalayas, the bar-headed goose performs a physiological feat that challenges the limits of vertebrate biology. To migrate between India and Central Asia, these birds must fly directly over the highest peaks of the Himalayas, reaching altitudes where oxygen levels are less than half of those at sea level. To survive this death zone, the goose has evolved a specialized hemoglobin that binds oxygen much more efficiently than that of other bird species. Their lungs are proportionally larger and possess a more extensive network of capillaries to maximize gas exchange during the intense physical exertion of climbing. Their heart is also significantly larger and more powerful, allowing for a higher cardiac output to deliver oxygen to their fly muscles. During their ascent, they utilize a roller coaster flight path, dipping into valleys to save energy, and then using powerful wing beats to clear the ridges. They are capable of flying at altitudes of nearly 9,000 meters, where the temperature can drop to -40 degrees Celsius. Their feathers provide a high-performance, insulating layer, trapping body heat while remaining light enough for flight. This is a biological Hiltut kit that allows a bird to operate in an environment that would be fatal to almost any other mammal. It proves that with the right physiological upgrades, life can conquer even the most inhospitable heights on Earth. The African elephant possesses a biological memory mapping system that is essential for the survival of the entire herd during periods of extreme drought. As a matriarchal society, the oldest female carries a mental database of every waterhole and feeding ground across a territory spanning thousands of square kilometers. This cognitive map is not just a list of locations, but a complex spatial awareness that includes the seasonal timing of fruit ripening and the reliability of distant springs. During a crisis, the matriarch can lead her family on a direct, straight-line march to a water source she may not have visited for over 30 years. Their communication system involves infrasonic rumbles, low-frequency sounds that travel through the ground rather than the air. These vibrations can be detected by other elephants up to 10 kilometers away through specialized nerve endings in their feet, creating a long-range seismic network for the herd. This allows separated groups to coordinate their movements and avoid overgrazing a single area, effectively managing the local ecosystem's resources. The elephant's brain is highly developed in the areas associated with memory and emotion, making them one of the most socially intelligent species in the wild. Their survival is a testament to the power of accumulated knowledge and the importance of elder leadership in a biological system. The Arctic tern holds the world record for the longest migration of any living creature, performing a round-trip journey that effectively grants it to summers every year, traveling from the Arctic Circle to the Antarctic and back. This small bird covers a staggering 70,000 kilometers in a single 12-month cycle. To achieve this, the tern has evolved a high-aspect ratio wing design that provides maximum lift with minimal drag, allowing for effortless gliding over the open ocean. They are plungivores, catching small fish and krill from the surface of the sea to refuel. They are metabolic engines during the long transit. Their navigation relies on a sophisticated multi-sensor approach, utilizing the position of the stars, the sun, and the Earth's magnetic field to maintain their course across featureless waters. By spending their lives in constant daylight, they maximize their foraging time and avoid the energy-depleting darkness of the polar winters. This global-scale movement is a masterpiece of avian logistics, requiring precise timing to catch the most favorable wind currents. The Arctic tern is a biological explorer, proving that with the right aerodynamic engineering, the entire planet can become a single, contiguous habitat. It represents the ultimate expression of nomadic endurance in the animal kingdom. In the searing heat of the Australian outback, the desert frog has engineered a form of metabolic hibernation that allows it to survive 4 years without a single drop of water. When the temporary pools dry up, the frog burrows deep into the cool, moist earth and encases itself in a specialized cocoon made of its own shed skin. This biological plastic wrap prevents the evaporation of its internal fluids, effectively sealing the frog's moisture inside its body. Its heart rate and respiration drop to near zero levels, entering a state of suspended animation known as est. The frog can remain in this dormant state for up to 5 years, waiting for the specific atmospheric pressure changes that signal the arrival of the monsoon rains. Once the earth becomes saturated, the frog emerges almost instantly to breed and feed in the few weeks of abundance before the desert dries again. This cycle-skipping technology is a brilliant adaptation for life in an unpredictable environment where resources are not guaranteed every year. It shows that survival is not always about movement. Sometimes it is about the ability to stop time and wait for the perfect conditions. The desert frog is a master of the long game, utilizing extreme physiological patience as its primary survival tool. As the sun disappears, the wild undergoes a sensory inversion where the visual world fades and the realms of sound, scent, and head detection become the dominant data streams. The pit viper is a specialist in this nocturnal theater, possessing a pair of loreal pits located between its eyes and nostrils that can detect infrared radiation. These organs act as thermal cameras, allowing the snake to see the heat signature of a warm-blooded mouse in total darkness. The viper's brain integrates this thermal data with its visual input, creating a dual-layered map of its environment that is unmatched by any human-made sensor. This allows the predator to strike with incredible accuracy at the most vulnerable parts of its prey's anatomy, even when the target is hidden behind foliage. The snake's tongue further enhances this system by tasting the air for chemical molecules, which are then processed by the Jacobson's organ in the roof of its mouth. This chemical sensing system provides a three-dimensional scent trail that leads the viper directly to its target. The combination of thermal imaging and chemical tracking makes the pit viper a nearly inescapable predator in the shadows of the night. It is a perfect example of how evolution solves the problem of zero visibility hunting through alternative sensory engineering. The bat's echolocation system is perhaps the most advanced acoustic navigation technology on the planet, allowing for high-speed flight and hunting in complete darkness. By emitting high-frequency ultrasonic pulses and analyzing the returning echoes, the bat can construct a high-resolution audio image of itself. This system is so precise that a bat can detect a single strand of hair or distinguish between different species of moths based on the frequency of their wing beat to prevent deafening itself with its own clicks. The bat has evolved a specialized muscle that disconnects its middle ear bones just before each vocalization. The brain's auditory cortex then processes the return signal in milliseconds, adjusting the bat's flight path to intercept a moving target mid-air. Some moth species have evolved acoustic jamming techniques to confuse the bat's sonar, leading to a high-stakes evolutionary arms race between sound and silence. Despite the complexity of this system, it is incredibly energy efficient, allowing the bat to consume thousands of insects in a single night. This is a masterclass in bioacoustic engineering, where sound is transformed into a visual spatial map of the world. It proves that light is not a requirement for high-resolution perception in the wild. The leopard is the undisputed master of the stealth to kinetic transition, utilizing a musculoskeletal system that is engineered for silent movement and explosive power. Its fur pattern acts as a sophisticated dithered camouflage, breaking up the animal's outline against the dappled light of the forests or the textured shadows of the savanna. To ensure a silent approach, the leopard's paws are equipped with soft, fleshy pads that dampen the sound of its footsteps on dry leaves or gravel. Its scapula, or shoulder blade, is not attached to a collarbone, allowing for a fluid, undulating gait that keeps its head perfectly level while tracking a target. This mechanical decoupling of the limbs from the torso is a masterclass in vibration reduction engineering, essential for a predator that must get within 5 meters of its prey before launching an attack. When the strike occurs, the leopard utilizes its retractable claws as high-tensile grappling hooks to secure the target, while its massive jaw muscles deliver a precision bite to the spinal cord. After the kill, the leopard demonstrates its incredible strength-to-weight ratio by hauling carcasses twice its own body weight high into the canopy of a tree. This vertical storage system protects the food from larger scavengers like hyenas and lions, ensuring the leopard's energy investment is secured. The leopard is a biological special forces unit, proving that in the wild, the quietest system is often the most lethal. Fireflies utilize a form of rhythmic light communication that functions like an organic Morse code to find mates in the dense vegetation of the night. This bioluminescent signaling is a precise language where each species has its own unique flash pattern and delay interval to prevent cross-species interference. The light is produced through a chemical reaction in the firefly's abdomen, where the enzyme luciferase acts on the substrate luciferin in the presence of magnesium and oxygen. By controlling the flow of oxygen to their light organs, the insects can turn their lamps on and off with millisecond precision. In some parts of the world, thousands of fireflies will synchronize their flashes to create a massive pulsing wave of light that can be seen from miles away. This synchronous behavior is a form of emergent coordination, where individual units follow simple local rules to create a complex, large-scale visual phenomena. While primarily used for mating, some predatory fireflies use aggressive mimicry, imitating the flash patterns of other species to lure them in and consume them. This is a high-stakes game of visual deception and chemical signaling played out in the dark. It shows that even light itself can be engineered into a sophisticated tool for both attraction and predation. The physiology of sleep in the wild is perhaps the most dangerous and necessary system maintenance protocol that any animal must perform. For many wild species, entering a state of total unconsciousness is a high-risk gamble that leaves them vulnerable to predators, leading to the evolution of unihemispheric slow-wave sleep. This allows animals like dolphins and certain migratory birds to shut down one half of their brain at a time, while the other half remains alert to monitor for threats. In this state, the animal can continue to swim or fly while their resting hemisphere performs the vital task of neural repair and memory consolidation. Giraffes have evolved to require only 30 minutes of sleep in a 24-hour period, often taken in short, 5-minute power naps while standing up to facilitate a quick escape. Conversely, predators like lions can sleep for up to 20 hours a day, a luxury afforded by their position at the top of the food chain and their need to conserve energy between hunts. This variation in sleep architecture is a direct reflection of an animal's risk-to-reward ratio within its specific ecosystem. Sleep is the recharge cycle of the biological machine, showing that even the most high-performance systems require downtime to prevent mechanical and neurological failure. As we conclude this 60-minute exploration into the evolutionary architect, we can see that the wilds is not a place of random chaos, but a vast network of highly optimized biological systems. From the microscopic firmware of the ant colony to the global-scale logistics of the Arctic tern, every living creature represents a specific solution to a complex environmental problem. We have analyzed the mechanical engineering of the cheetah's spine, the chemical warfare of the bombardier beetle, and the high-pressure structural integrity of the deep sea. These adaptations are the result of millions of years of iterative design, where the only metric for success is the continued survival of the species. We have seen that information, whether in the form of an elephant's memory or a bee's waggle dance, is just as critical to survival as physical strength or speed. Energy management is the universal currency of the wild, and every creature we have studied has evolved a way to maximize its return on investment in the pursuit of life. The biodiversity of our planet is essentially a massive library of engineering secrets, offering us a glimpse into the near-infinite ways that life can adapt to its surroundings. By understanding these systems, we move from being mere observers of nature to becoming students of its most profound logic. The concept of collective intelligence extends far beyond insects, manifesting in the coordinated movements of massive fish schools that function as a single, fluid sensor array. When a predator approaches a school of herring, the individual fish do not need a central commander to dictate their escape route or defensive formation. Instead, each fish follows 3 simple local rules. Stay close to your neighbor, align your direction, and avoid collisions at all costs. This decentralized algorithm allows the school to react to a threat with a speed that exceeds the processing power of any individual nervous system. The shimmering effect of thousands of scales moving in unison creates a confusion matrix for the predator, making it impossible to lock onto a single target. This is a biological version of a distributed computing network, where the software of the group provides a level of protection that the hardware of the individual cannot achieve. It proves that in the wild, the most effective defense is often found in the mathematical precision of group dynamics. By studying these schools, engineers are developing new protocols for autonomous drone swarms that can navigate complex environments without human intervention. In the avian world, the V-formation used by migrating geese is a masterclass in aerodynamic load shearing and collective energy conservation. As the lead bird flaps its wings, it creates a vortex of air that provides a significant upwash or lift for the bird immediately behind it. This positioning allows the following birds to maintain their flight speed while expending up to 20% less metabolic energy than they would if flying alone. The birds rotate the lead position frequently, ensuring that no single individual becomes exhausted by the high drag demands of the front. This cooperative flight protocol is synchronized by vocalizations and visual cues that maintain the perfect spacing required for maximum aerodynamic efficiency. It is a biological realization of peer-to-peer energy distribution, where the success of the long-distance journey depends on the mutual support of the entire group. This system allows birds to cross entire continents and oceans with a fuel efficiency that human aircraft have yet to fully replicate. It demonstrates that nature's most impressive feats are often the result of collaborative engineering rather than individual dominance. The seismic communication network of the African elephant provides a fascinating look at how large mammals utilize the earth itself as a medium for long-range data transmission. When an elephant rumbles, it produces low-frequency sound waves that travel both through the air and as rarely waves through the upper layers of the soil. These subterranean vibrations can be detected by other elephants up to 40 kilometers away using specialized Pacinian corpuscles located in the fatty pads of their feet. This tactile hearing allows separate family groups to communicate about the location of water, the presence of threats, or the timing of seasonal migrations. The brain of the elephant is capable of triangulating the direction and distance of these seismic signals with incredible precision based on the time delay between each foot. This allows for a coordinated landscape scale movement where thousands of individuals can remain synchronized without ever seeing one another. It is a biological version of a wide area network, providing the herd with a level of situational awareness that spans hundreds of square miles. This seismic connectivity is the glue that holds elephant society together across the vast, often disconnected landscapes of the savanna. Plants and fungi also participate in this global data network through what scientists call the Wood Wide Web, a symbiotic mycorrhizal network that connects trees in a forest through a complex underground system of fungal hyphae. Trees can exchange carbon, nitrogen, and phosphorus with one another to ensure the survival of the entire forest system. This network also serves as a biological warning system, where a tree under attack by insects can release chemical signals that alert neighboring trees to bolster their own chemical defenses. Older, larger mother trees use this network to prioritize the delivery of nutrients to their own saplings, ensuring the continuation of their specific genetic line. This underground marketplace is governed by a set of complex trade agreements between the plants and the fungi, where each provides a resource the other cannot produce alone. It is a decentralized, non-animal intelligence that manages the resource flow of an entire ecosystem with the efficiency of a modern supply chain. This proves that even the most stationary organisms are active participants in a high-speed global information exchange. To truly understand the limits of wild engineering, we must examine the extremophile protocol, the biological rules that allow life to exist where it should be impossible. The tardigrade, or water bear, is perhaps the most resilient organism on our planet, capable of surviving the vacuum of space, extreme radiation, and temperatures near absolute zero. When faced with a lethal environment, the tardigrade enters a state called cryptobiosis, where it expels almost all the water from its body and curls into a dried-out ton. In this state, its metabolism drops to 0.01% of its normal rate, and it produces specialized proteins that act as a glass-like shield for its internal cellular structures. This biological safe mode allows the tardigrade to remain dormant for decades, only to reanimate within minutes once it is reintroduced to a hospitable environment. Its DNA is protected by a unique protein called DZOOP, short for damage suppressor, which physically shields the genetic code from the destructive effects of X-rays and ultraviolet radiation. This is the ultimate emergency reboot system, proving that life can be engineered to survive the most hostile conditions in the known universe. In the frozen expanses of the Antarctic, the wood frog has engineered a biological cryoprotection system that allows its entire body to freeze solid during the winter months. As the temperature drops, the frog's liver begins to convert stored glycogen into massive quantities of glucose, which acts as a natural antifreeze within its vital organs. This high concentration of sugar lowers the freezing point of the cellular fluid, preventing the formation of jagged ice crystals that would otherwise puncture and destroy the delicate cell membranes, while the water between the cells freezes into ice. The internal machinery of the cells remains in a syrupy, liquid state, effectively pausing the biological clock of the organism. During this period, the frog has no heartbeat, no brain activity, and no respiration, existing in a state that is clinically indistinguishable from death. When the spring thaw arrives, the frog's internal heating system activates, thawing the heart first to resume blood circulation and oxygen delivery to the rest of the body. Within a few hours, the frog is fully mobile and ready to begin its breeding cycle, having survived a thermal environment that would be fatal to almost any other vertebrate. This is a master class in thermal stability engineering, proving that life can be paused and restarted through the clever application of organic chemistry. The Pompeii worm represents the absolute limit of complex life's ability to survive in extreme thermal gradients near hydrothermal vents. This polycute worm attaches itself to the sides of black smokers, where its tail is exposed to temperatures of 80 degrees Celsius, while its head rests in much cooler water. To survive this staggering temperature difference, the worm is covered in a thick fleece of symbiotic bacteria that function as a biological heat shield. These bacteria consume the toxic chemicals emitted by the vent and, in return, provide a layer of thermal insulation that protects the worm's sensitive tissues from being cooked. The worm also secretes a specialized mucus that feeds the bacteria, creating a self-sustaining cooling jacket that is unique in the animal kingdom. This relationship is a perfect example of material science in the wild. where two different species combine to create a protective barrier against an impossible environment. By studying the protein structures of the Pompeii worm, researchers are discovering new ways to create heat-resistant enzymes for industrial applications. It proves that the most hostile edge cases of our planet are often the birthplace of the most innovative biological solutions. In the hyperarid Atacama Desert, certain species of cacti and beetles have evolved atmospheric water harvesting systems to survive in an environment where it almost never rains. The Namib desert beetle, for example, utilizes a specialized back covered in microscopic bumps that are hydrophilic, water-attracting at the tips and hydrophobic, water-repelling on the sides. During the early morning fog, the beetle stands on its head, allowing moisture from the air to condense into droplets on the hydrophilic tips of its back. Once the droplets reach a certain size, they roll down the hydrophobic channels directly into the beetle's mouth, providing a reliable source of hydration from thin air. This passive collection technology is so efficient that it allows the beetle to thrive in a landscape where other organisms would perish from dehydration within hours. Human engineers are currently mimicking this fog-basking architecture to create self-filling water bottles and moisture systems for drought-stricken regions. This is a brilliant example of fluid dynamics engineering at a microscopic scale, proving that the atmosphere itself is a resource if you have the right hardware to collect it. As we move into the final segment of our educational journey, we must look at how the system designs of the wild are shaping the future of human technology through the science of biomimicry. For billions of years, nature has been conducting the world's largest R&D project, testing every possible mechanical, chemical, and structural configuration for efficiency and durability. We are now learning to read this biological code, applying the serrated wing design of the owl to create silent wind turbines, and the structure of shark skin to create bacteria-resistant surfaces in hospitals. The kingfisher's specialized beak, designed for a splashless entry into water, was the direct inspiration for the aerodynamic nose of the Japanese Shinkansen bullet train. By copying the algorithms of nature, we are discovering that the most sustainable solutions are often the ones that require the least amount of energy and produce the zero waste. This shift from exploiting nature to mentoring under nature is the defining technological transition of the 21st century. The wild is no longer just a resource to be managed. It is a library of blueprints that could solve our most pressing engineering challenges. DNA itself is the ultimate data storage system, capable of holding an incredible amount of information in a space so small it is invisible to the naked eye. A single gram of DNA can theoretically store 215 petabytes of data, with a shelf life that lasts for thousands of years if kept in the right conditions. Nature has used this system to record the operating instructions for every creature we have discussed in this hour, from the smallest ant to the largest whale. Unlike human hard drives, which become obsolete every few decades, the read-write mechanism of DNA has remained compatible with life for over 3 billion years. We are now beginning to explore DNA computing, utilizing the massive parallel processing power of molecular reactions to solve complex mathematical problems. This biological hardware is the most resilient and efficient information storage technology ever discovered, and it is present in every cell of every wild animal. By preserving biodiversity, we are effectively preserving the greatest hard drive in the history of the universe. Every species that goes extinct is a data loss event that can never be recovered, taking with it millions of years of unique survival code. The intelligence of the swarm is now being translated into the world of robotics, where decentralized agent-based systems are replacing the need for a single, vulnerable central processor. In the wild, a swarm of bees or a colony of ants can survive the loss of many individuals because the intelligence is distributed across the entire network. Researchers are applying these local root protocols to create swarms of miniature robots that can perform search and rescue operations or monitor environmental health in real time. These robotic swarms communicate through simple digital pheromones, allowing them to self-organize and adapt to changing conditions without human intervention. This shift toward biological logic in our machines is making our technology more resilient, scalable, and energy efficient. It proves that the system specialist of the future will not just be a coder of silicon, but a student of biological networks. The wild has already solved the problems of networking, logistics, and scalability. We simply need to learn how to implement those solutions into our own digital architectures. The axolotl, a unique aquatic salamander, possesses a self-healing biological system that represents the holy grail of regenerative medicine and structural repair. Unlike most vertebrates that form scar tissue to close a wound, the axolotl can perfectly regenerate entire limbs, heart tissue, and even portions of its own brain and spinal cord. When an injury occurs, its cells undergo a process of de-differentiation, reverting back to a stem cell-like state to rebuild the missing structure from scratch with zero functional loss. This cellular reprogramming protocol is governed by a complex set of genetic switches that remain active throughout the animal's entire adult life. Scientists are currently mapping the axolotl's massive genome, which is 10 times larger than the human genome, to identify the specific biocodes that trigger this regeneration. By understanding how these signals are sent and received, we may one day unlock the ability to repair human organs or engineer self-healing materials for aerospace and construction. The axolotl is a biological reset button, proving that the blueprints for immortality and perfect repair are already written in the wild. It shows that the maintenance phase of a biological system can be just as innovative as the production phase. Bioluminescence is not just a tool for deep-sea hunting. It is being studied as a potential zero-energy lighting solution for the cities of the future. By inserting the luciferin gene sequences from fireflies or glowing bacteria into the DNA of common urban trees, we could create luminescent forests that light our streets without electricity. This biological lighting system would be powered by the tree's own metabolic processes and synchronized with the natural day-night cycle. Unlike traditional LED lighting, which contributes to light pollution and consumes massive amounts of energy, BioLight is soft, organic, and carbon neutral. We are also exploring the use of bioluminescent algae in high-risk building facades to act as living lamps that absorb carbon dioxide while providing a cool, ambient glow. This integration of biological hardware into our urban infrastructure represents a shift towards a truly green technological ecosystem. It proves that the most advanced light-emitting diode on the planet was not made in a factory, but evolved in a forest. This lighting as a service model from nature is the ultimate sustainable design for a modern world. The great whale acts as a massive carbon sequestration system, playing a role in the global climate cycle that is often overlooked in traditional environmental discussions. Throughout its long life, a whale accumulates a staggering amount of carbon in its massive body, acting as a biological sink that keeps CO2 out of the atmosphere. When a whale eventually dies and sinks to the seafloor phenomena known as a whale fall, it traps that carbon in the deep ocean for centuries, effectively acting as a long-term storage device. Furthermore, whale movements and waste products provide essential nutrients like iron and nitrogen to surface-level phytoplankton. These microscopic plants produce over 50% of the Earth's oxygen and absorb as much carbon dioxide as for Amazon rainforests combined. This whale pump is a vital component of the Earth's life support system, maintaining the chemical balance of our atmosphere and oceans through a simple biological loop. By protecting whales, we are not just saving a species. We are maintaining a critical piece of the planet's climate control hardware. It illustrates how the largest animals on Earth support the smallest, creating a unified system of survival. The Silk Road was not just a human achievement, but a testament to the industrial-scale engineering of the silkworm, which produces a high-performance protein fiber through a process of natural extrusion. Each silkworm spins a single continuous thread of silk that can be up to 900 meters long, utilizing a specialized gland that converts liquid protein into a solid, high-tensile filament. This biomanufacturing process occurs at room temperature and uses water as a solvent, making it infinitely more sustainable than the high-heat, chemical-heavy production of synthetic fibers like polyester. Modern materials scientists are now using silkworm logic to develop biodegradable surgical sutures and high-strength medical implants that the human body can safely absorb over time. We are even experimenting with spider silkins, hence silkworms, to create hybrid materials that are tougher than Kevlar, yet light enough for high-fashion garments. This synergy between ancient biological processes and modern genetic engineering is creating a new category of biomaterials that could replace petroleum-based plastics. It proves that some of the most complex manufacturing plants on Earth are less than 3 inches long. The antifreeze proteins found in Arctic fish are being utilized to solve the problem of ice crystal damage in the long-term storage of human organs and frozen foods. These specialized proteins bind to the surface of microscopic ice crystals, preventing them from growing large enough to puncture cell membranes during the freezing process. This biological ice inhibition technology allows tissues to be chilled to sub-zero temperatures without the structural degradation caused by traditional freezing. In the food industry, these proteins are being used to create ice creams that never lose their smooth texture, even after months in a home freezer. In medicine, they are the key to organ banking, extending the viable life of donor hearts and kidneys from a few hours to several days or even weeks. This is a perfect example of cross-domain innovation, where a solution found in the freezing waters of the North Pole is applied to the most pressing challenges of human healthcare. It shows that every wild species is a solution architect for a problem we may not have even identified yet. As our 60-minute journey through the evolutionary architect comes to a close, we must recognize that we have only scratched the surface of the wild's massive solution database. We have traveled from the predatory apex protocols of the African plains to the chemosynthetic blueprints of the deep-sea trenches. We have analyzed how honeybees use trigonometry to navigate and how tardigrades use cryptobiosis to survive the vacuum of space. Each of these 50 systems we have discussed today is a chapter in a 4 billion-year-old manual on how to thrive in a changing world. The common thread among all these species is a relentless drive for efficiency, resilience, and systemic balance. The wild does not over-engineer. It optimizes until the system is perfectly tuned to its environment. This minimalist perfection is the ultimate goal of any system specialist, whether they are building a piece of software or a skyscraper. The true education of this hour is the realization that we are not separate from these wild systems, but deeply integrated components of them. Our own technology is increasingly becoming a reflection of biological logic as we move away from brute force engineering and toward nature-informed design. When we lose a species to extinction, we are not just losing a beautiful animal. We are deleting a legacy code that took millions of years to write. Conservation is not just an act of kindness, it is the protection of our own technological and biological future. By viewing the world as an interconnected series of living blueprints, we gain a new sense of responsibility toward the planet's biodiversity. We must become the system administrators of the Earth, ensuring that the delicate balance of these wild architectures is preserved for the generations to come. Your participation in this educational journey is the first step toward that goal. Thank you for investing 60 minutes of your time into understanding the evolutionary architect. We hope this deep dive into the engineering of the wild has provided you with a new perspective on the complexity and beauty of our natural world. From the smallest micro-warrior to the largest nomadic wanderer, every creature has a story of survival that is worth learning and protecting. As you step away from this screen, look at the animals around you, whether it's a bird in the park or a spider in the corner, and recognize the millions of years of engineering that allowed them to be there. The wild's always speaking to us, offering its secrets to those who are willing to listen and observe with a specialist's eye. This concludes our 60-minute broadcast, but the study of life is a lifelong pursuit that never truly ends. May you continue to seek out the logic in the chaos and the beauty in the design of our living planet.